Hello, my friends. Today I have good news. Last night we learned that Biden has allowed Ukraine to strike Russia with American missiles. Biden authorized Ukraine to use American long range missiles to strike Russia. With 2 months left in his term, the president has for the first time permitted Ukrainian forces to use the ATACMS system to protect their troops in Russia's Kursk region. It seems Biden decided to give a farewell gift. However, this doesn't necessarily mean strikes deep within Russia. We're still waiting for details on this. The range of these missiles may allow Ukraine theoretically to target the Crimean Bridge, but if the focus is solely on protecting troops in the Kursk region, strikes will be limited to that direction. Either way, it's promising news, and it's been a while since we've had news like this. Additionally, just yesterday, it was reported that the UK had halted missile supplies to Ukraine. Now, after Biden's green light to strike Russia, France and the UK have also allowed Ukraine to use their missiles against Russia. The range of the Storm Shadow missile is even greater, opening up significant new possibilities. However, Scholz is still silent. He has been one of the loudest supporters, promising to help Ukraine as long as it takes, but he has yet to authorize the Taurus missile strikes. What do you think? Be sure to share your thoughts in the comments. If strikes against Russia using Western weapons are carried out, it will test Putin's response. Back in September, he stated that long-range missile attacks on Russia would signify NATO's involvement in the conflict. And here his statement.
Recently, we've heard high-level discussions in the UK and the US about the possibility of the Kiev regime striking deep within Russia using long-range Western-made weapons. It seems this decision is either on the verge of being made or has already been decided. This is an extraordinary situation.
Let's clarify what's happening here. It's not simply about permitting or forbidding the Kyiv regime from launching strikes. It's about using precision, long-range Western-made systems, and that's a different story entirely. Ukraine cannot execute these strikes without satellite intelligence, which they lack. Only NATO satellites have this data, either from the EU or the United States. Ukrainian troops. So, this isn't a question of permission, it's a question of whether NATO countries will participate directly in this conflict. And if that decision is made, it will mean that NATO, the US, and European countries are actively engaging in war with Russia, fundamentally changing the nature of this conflict. If this happens, we'll take corresponding measures based on the threats created for us.
If he stands by his words, this could mean World War III. If not, it might signal the need to intensify strikes against Russia and push them towards capitulation. What do you think? Be sure to share your thoughts in the comments. Zelensky has also made a statement on this issue.
We must withstand the pressure right now, any pressure, any attacks to achieve our goal next year, to achieve peace. And one more thing. The plan to strengthen Ukraine is a victory plan, which I presented to our partners. One of the main points is long-range capabilities for our army. Many media sources are discussing that we've received permission for certain actions, but actions aren't announced with words. Missiles will speak for themselves. Glory to Ukraine.
And now Donald Trump Jr. has spoken out against the strikes on Russia. Donald Trump Jr. criticized the leaders who, according to media reports, allowed Ukraine to carry out long-range strikes on Russian territory, calling them imbeciles. He suggested that the military-industrial complex seems determined to start World War III before his father has a chance to bring peace and save lives. Gotta look on these trillions dollars, life be damned, imbeciles. Wrote the son of the newly elected president in October. Elon Musk, who now plays a key role in Trump's administration, indirectly commented on Biden's decision by reposting a tweet saying liberals love war. So let's wait and see. If this actually happens, it would mean that one crucial part of Zelensky's plan may indeed be working. Now, let's look at this week's results along the front lines. Unfortunately, the summer is bleak. In the past week, Russian forces have captured another 129 square kilometers, while the Ukrainian forces managed to reclaim just over 1 square kilometer. As seen before, Russian forces are advancing over 100 square kilometers per week. Now, let's turn to the situation at the border. In the Kursk direction, things remain stable for now, though Russian forces have shelled Sumy. The missile strike on a 9-story building has resulted in casualties. It's clear that strikes on Ukrainian territory are ongoing. In the Kharkiv direction, the Russians continue their shelling with fighting reported near the village of Strelecha, but there have been no changes along the front line here. Fighting also persists in Vovchansk, though activity is not as intense, and the Ukrainian forces are successfully repelling all attacks. In the Kupiansk direction, Russian forces continue their attempts to advance near Pishane and strengthen the front line, but so far they've had no success. Battles are also ongoing for Kolesnikivka, despite Russian claims of having captured it. Fighting is still underway. Toward Borova, and the Russians are intensifying the assaults on Zaporizhzhia, conducting numerous shelling operations and pushing toward Novosibirsk to the south. Battles are taking place around Chernyshina and Grekivka, but as before, the front line remains unchanged. In the Crimean direction, Russian forces are assaulting Terny and shelling Ivanivka and Liman. However, they've made no progress and the front line remains unchanged over the past day. In the Siversk direction, activity has generally decreased. Russian forces are currently only conducting shelling operations with no changes along the front line. In the Chasiv Yar direction, there have been significant developments. It has been confirmed that Russian forces have fully captured the Novyi microdistrict and advanced nearly 2.5 kilometers toward the central part of Chasiv Yar. Although progress is slow, Russian forces are indeed moving forward. Shelling continues, and there is no reported new activity, but the situation suggests they are now only about 3 kilometers from the northern border of Chasiv Yar. Afterward, they are expected to shift their focus toward Konstantinivka. In the Toretsk direction, Russian forces are assaulting Sherbinivka with ongoing battles in Toretsk itself. Nearly half of the city is now under Russian control, and they are gradually trying to advance further. Shelling remains constant, though there have been no changes in the past day. In the Pokrovsk direction, Russian forces remain highly active. They continue assaults on Myrolubivka, the village of Promень, Lysivka, and are advancing along the railway. Intense fighting is ongoing around Petrivka, Novoalexeyevka, and Pustinka. However, there have been no changes over the past day, and the Ukrainian forces have managed to repel all attacks so far. In the Kurakhove direction, Russian forces are demonstrating maximum activity, attempting to advance from all sides toward Kurakhove. Fighting continues within the city, and Russian troops are persistently trying to capture the village of Dalny. Despite these efforts, there have been no changes in the past day. In the direction of Velika Novosilka, fighting continues around Novodaryevka and Rivnopil. Russian forces are shelling Velika Novosilka and the village of Temerivka, yet there have been no significant changes in the last day. The capture of Makarivka hasn't been confirmed by Ukrainian side. In the Zaporizhzhia direction, there is currently a lull with no major Russian offensive underway, and the frequency of shelling has even decreased. This might be a calm before the storm, so further developments are anticipated. In the Kherson direction, activity remains high. Russian forces are attempting to push onto the islands and are launching attacks near the Kozachilahiri area. Shelling of the right bank continues, but there have been no changes over the past day. And that's all from me. So please don't forget to like this video, subscribe to the channel, and hit the notification bell to stay updated on all the latest news. Thank you for watching and see you next time. Bye bye.